Hello beautiful people, here's a review of the Swedish Bandkanon HC added in the Wing Lines update. Hope you enjoy. The B in the beacon stands for band, which in this instance means tracked. Think rubber band in English for comparison. So the name simply translates into Track Cannon 1C. Great Nordic, almost pragmatic name giving. Let's look at some of the pros and cons. Some of the pros: cannon. Obviously, this vehicle is all about the cannon. The main attraction is the autoloader, which can reload a shell in only 3.2 seconds, and that is pretty insane. The caliber of the cannon is 155mm. It can use high explosive and high explosive variable time fuse ammunition. The two types of ammunition share all stats except for the fuse. But the way you need to set the fuse on the timed ammunition is almost useless, so just forget you even have it. The barrel of the cannon is very long, which means high muzzle velocity, and in this instance it equals to 850 meters a second, which is stupidly fast for such a large gun. This gives the advantage of a flat trajectory, so it's easy to aim. The shell has an armor pin of 58mm, which is great for an HE round, and the explosive content of the shell is 7.5 kilograms. Survivability. You would initially not think so, but the B-can can take a lot of hits from pretty much all types of ammunition before it goes down. The armor itself is very thin, with only 15mm on the hull and 20mm on the turret. The layout of the B-can means that the crew is spread out. The driver sits alone in the hull, away from the rest of the crew in the turret. The turret is splitting the crew in two because the breech and barrel runs the entire length of the turret. This means a shell hitting either left or right on the turret, either from the front or the side, will in most cases only take out 2 of the crew, leaving 3 alive. And that happened over and over again while I was spading the B-can. In one case I counted 12 hits to the vehicle from different tanks before it was destroyed. Mobility. Although the top speed of the B-can is only 30 km an hour, it can drive just as fast backwards as forwards. And the 30 km an hour in reverse is very useful, and it has already saved my butt plenty of times. Lineups. The B-can has a battle rating of 7.0 and thereby can support both a 7.0 and 7.3 lineup combined with the early jets. Purdy. The model of the B-can is very detailed, but looks slightly unfortunate. It also has a very cool animated reload sequence. And some of the cons. Guidances. The Achilles heel of the B-can are the guidances. The gun can only depress -2 degrees and traverse 10 degrees, and that is in War Thunder pretty damn awful. In real life, of course, it did not really matter since it was an artillery piece, but not so much in the game. The way the maps are designed, you, if you do not have good map knowledge, have few spots and maps where you can really place yourself and use the cannon's full ability. Even the slightest pothole or depression in the ground will make it impossible for you to get the gun on target, and that has got me killed and very annoyed already. I think the guidances alone will cause a lot of players not to use the B-can at all. Huge. The B-can is a very large vehicle, and that of course means that you are easy to spot and present a yummy target for everything with a gun. Ammunition. You only have 14 shells with you, and with the crazy autoloader you need to be very careful with not going ham, spending it all very fast. Furthermore, the ammo is placed in this huge compartment on the back of the vehicle. Now from the front it is very difficult to see and hit, but from the sides it is very obvious, and the smart player will right away realize where to aim and one-shot you. Machine gun. Another large con is the lack of any machine gun for defense. This absence is also very frustrating, and I have cursed it quite a bit. Playing the B-can can be very effective and entertaining, but it can equally so drive you crazy. I tried in the span of maybe 12 seconds to kill 3 tanks, which is hugely gratifying, but I've also tried to get killed because of the tiniest depression in the ground, making it impossible to aim the gun, and the latter part can make you want to kick a baby. Now of course you can use the B-can on slopes and in hilly terrain, but you need to think about your placement much more than usual. But sadly, 9 out of 10 times it requires that the vehicle is in full view of the enemy, and it kind of leads to whatever it leads. There is no doubt about the effectiveness of the cannon. It can destroy everything you point it at. The autoloader makes it possible to shower an enemy player with a lot of shells before they have any idea where the shots came from. Playstyle wise, you have choices, but it can also be a little confusing and annoying. You can use the beacon on urban maps where you can brawl-ish, but then again not. For me, a brawling tank means a tank that can take hits and keep fighting. Now the beacon can certainly take hits, but it will get damaged, requiring repairs almost always after the first hit. If you're lucky, you can use your good reverse speed and pull out, but often you just sit there repairing while getting hit over and over again. The first thing that always gets hit and destroyed is, you guessed it, the cannon. This thing is huge and presents the obvious target, and it is easy to hit. I have spent up to a full minute just repairing the gun and barrel, and that is pretty damn annoying. And it happens all the time. The beacon is definitely not for everyone. It is a niche vehicle, but if you can overcome its weaknesses, you will have a great time. I for one am of course very glad it's in the game. As a fan of quirky and odd vehicles, I'm pretty happy that this beacon has been added to the Swedish lineups. BR wise, it is also in a great spot where it can assist several lineups. You can easily choose to bring the beacon to a match, but if you think the map is not going to work with it, no problem, you don't have to use it. But it's a nice additional option to have. And that was about it for this little review. If you liked the video and the other videos on my channel, do me a solid and like, subscribe and comment. Thank you for watching, and until next time, remember to deploy your die brakes. Have a good one.